Right now, I have learned a really great important thing that all problems happens when we think small. Okay, I think this is the most important knowledge I've got in the last 1 year. I would say this is the accumulation of all the efforts that I've taken. Every problems, everything happens when we think small in that small cell. The larger you grow, this problem disappears. It just dissolves, and we will become enlightened, or we will become experienced, matured. X, Y, Z, right? I think maturity and this growth all happens in this when we come to that great cell rather than let's a great table rather than the small cell. I'm taking the example of an Excel sheet. I'm so used to that Excel sheet, so that's why. Okay, so let's take an Excel sheet, and there are many cells, right? So let's imagine each cell is a part of our life, is a is a is a different part of our life. And I think if you are in that part and you are only thinking on the perspective of that part, every problem in that cell will be the greatest problem in the world. But I think that we have to work in that cell, but see in that table, see the entire table. Work in that cell, see the entire table, or else we just become a worker. So if we can see the entire table, I think it's great. Like whenever we have these negative thoughts, whenever we have these positive thoughts, all those things, it like if you are having those negative thoughts, it's probably that you are thinking in that cell. You are not moving out. You are not seeing the entire table. Like you are പൊട്ടക്കിണറ്റിലെ തവള എന്ന് പറയും. പൊട്ടക്കിണറ്റിലത്തെ തവള. You are just that. You are not seeing anything. So like oh, entire life is this. Oh, so you're negative. So you are devastated. You're depressed. There is no doubt that your life will be ruined if you are going in that direction. And I think the moment you understand that it's not the cell, it's the entire table that matters. I think most of the problem gets solved an aspect. So I'm leaving nature issue in not leaving nature. I'm leaving India in 2 months from now. Not even 2 months. I will be at the time me in India is less than 2 months. So yeah, I'm in India. So imagine I'm in India and I just have 2 months. I say, oh my God, my entire life. I worked 1.5 years so tirelessly, relentlessly, day and night, and worked too much. I'm so sad. What to do? All these things went to waste. I am just sitting and doing something. Sada. We can think like that. We can say, that's me when I'm just thinking in that cell of naturish. I'm like, this is the nature shell. I'm thinking, oh, naturish, oh, I'm leaving it. But the moment you see the entire table, you're like, shit, the work I did in the naturish get converted to the opportunities in New York. I'm going to New York, the capital of the world. The immense amount of opportunity there is unimaginable. Just imagine the experience I got from the naturish, the character development I had from naturish, the philosophies, the thoughts, the ideas, everything I had from naturish is getting converted. And when it comes to this New York thing, it's just gonna explode. And like if I'm just thinking from the New York perspective, I'm like, okay, New York, and you come back, you see the entire table, and you're like, shit, the New York opportunity can make me rule the world, can get me to the goals of O'Neill cylinders, like that behind me. So it's like, oh my god, the moment you think inside the cell, you are negative. You will never upgrade yourself. The moment you see the entire table, you keep on upgrading. So what I say is that whenever you feel low, whenever feel stressed, you have to see that, okay, am I thinking inside the cell or am I thinking in the table format? So here is the game. If you can think in the table format, it's great. The table format, like can you think in the entire table format and you're like, shit, okay, this table is way important than I thought. Like then you can justify the cell. The moment you see the big picture, you can justify the cell or you can take action. Like I think stress primarily occurs when you can't take actions, like when you are paralyzed to take actions. Stress comes when you are paralyzed to take actions. So the moment you are not paralyzed to take actions. What happens? You become really positive. You take the decisions. So maybe, like, where imagine one cell is really damaged, or the one cell is giving you too much stress. You're going to take this anti-table and you're going to look, why am I getting so much stressed? Or like, if it's like a growth level stress, like, it's helping you to grow, then you're like, okay, when I see the big picture, I can see that this is really important. Like, I know that I'm suffering right now, or I'm, really stressed right now, but this will convert into greater prosperity. Well taken. So that's like, I can sit there and I can, okay, and you see the big picture, like, okay, this will pass and I will become great. But if you see the big picture and you're like, okay, that cell doesn't fit here. And if you take that big table and you say like, oh, that cell is causing a lot of trouble. Because of that cell, the entire table is getting destroyed. Oh, I have to get rid of that cell. That's the thought. Like, the moment you get into the table format, or when you see the table, you can take really great decisions. Okay, here is the game. Okay.